Good morning. Welcome to another new session of the video class. In this video class, we will discuss about Michelson-Morley experiment in the part of theory of relativity of modern physics. Theory of relativity was developed from the year 1905 with the special theory of relativity introduced by Einstein, which developed a new kind of mechanics which is known as the relativistic mechanics. And I said that this is the revolutionary theory which changed the old concepts and which opened the doors of a new era in the physics. That's why the new era in the physics was opened by the doors of the introduction of special theory of relativity by Einstein in the year 1905. Right. But one more thing, the total development or the complete development of theory of relativity or special theory of relativity, which is most important theory for the development of molecular physics, atomic physics and particle physics, is also having another important thing, that is Michelson-Morley experiment. It means that my interest is the theory of relativity. Different concepts after the introduction of the special theory of relativity, or this revolutionary concept in the modern physics, was developed due to the Einstein's special theory of relativity as well as Michelson-Morley experiment. It means that Michelson-Morley experiment is equally important when compared with the special theory of relativity proposed by Einstein for the development of the entire theory of relativity and its consequence and its applications as far as the molecular, atomic and nuclear physics is concerned. That's why what I am saying to you is Michelson-Morley experiment is one of the pillar along with the other pillar, that is the special theory of relativity proposed by the Einstein. Einstein theory is one pillar and Michelson-Morley experiment is the other pillar on which the entire theory of relativity and its consequences and its applications are developed. Such a great experiment is Michelson-Morley experiment. Right. Michelson-Morley experiment. This experiment, what is the main aim of the Michelson-Morley experiment is to detect the existence of absolute frame of reference in the universe. Absolute frame of reference in the universe. What is this? In the early days of 19th century, it was believed that we know that mechanical waves, sound waves only travels with in a medium. They won't travel in the vacuum. Similarly, in the early days of the 19th century, scientists believed that light also travels in a medium, or on the other hand, it needs a medium for the propagation of the light. That medium is said to be pervaded throughout the universe. That medium is existing in throughout the universe, and that medium is termed as ether. Therefore, scientists said that light travels with a velocity 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meters per second in a medium which is known as ether, and this ether presents or exists throughout the universe. and very peculiarly uncommon and extraordinary properties are. The thing is, very peculiarly uncommon and extraordinary properties are attributed to the ether. It means that people said that there are some extraordinary and uncommon properties are there for the ether. The ether is massless. They said that the ether is massless. Ether is massless, perfectly transparent, perfectly non-resistive. It means that perfectly conductive. It conducts everything perfectly. Perfectly conductive. It is massless, perfectly conductive, perfect, no resistance, no resistivity, no resistance for the motion of any body, perfectly conductive, perfectly transparent, perfectly elastic body. Okay, these are all some very peculiar, uncommon and extraordinary properties that are given to the ether. And they said that this ether is pervaded throughout the universe, and in that universe, light travels with a velocity 3 × 10⁴ meters per second. Therefore, okay, scientists believe this one, and scientists try to determine the velocity of the rotation of the earth in the ether medium, but they fail to found the value exactly. That is one of the major drawbacks, major question before the scientists that are there in during the days of classical mechanics. Later, after this, the concept of relativity and the great efforts made by Michelson and Morley, of course, it was found that there is no ether. There is no such universally pervaded ether. There is no such absolute frame is there. He said that universally pervaded ether is the absolute frame of reference. Okay, this experiment, the results of this experiment ultimately proved that there is no such frame is there. And later it was scientifically proposed and proved that electromagnetic waves, that is the light waves, travels in the medium, in the air and in the vacuum with the same velocity, that is 3 × 10⁴ meters per second. It means that electromagnetic waves can also travel in the vacuum. In the vacuum, their velocity is 3 × 10⁴ meters per second, and the same velocity will be more or less there in case of its propagation as far as the air is concerned. Therefore, it needs no medium for the propagation of light. This is the modern concept. But before that concept, the thing is, people said that, or scientists believe that light travels in a universally pervaded absolute medium, which is known as the ether, and it is having such a peculiar, uncommon, extraordinary properties. That's why Michelson in the year 1981, and again with the help of the Morley in the year 1987, conducted the same experiment in order to determine the velocity of rotation of Earth with respect to the ether waves. When ether is there, well, when Earth rotates, so then what will happen? Ether waves will generate. With respect to ether waves, what is the velocity? And how this universally pervaded absolute medium will affect the motion of Earth. All these things are interested to study by the Michelson and Morley. They simply established Michelson-Morley, Michelson interferometer. This experiment is nothing but the Michelson interferometer. Therefore, the ultimate aim of this experiment is to know whether there is absolute universally pervaded medium is there. That is, the existence of whether is correct or not. If correct, what is the velocity of the Earth the velocity of rotation of the earth with respect to the ether. Okay, this was experimentally tried to determine or conducted experiments in order to know the fact about this absolute frame and its consequences. Okay, this is about the Michelson-Morley experiment. And after the Michelson-Morley experiment, with the result of the Michelson-Morley experiment, it was said that there is no absolute frame of reference in the universe. There is no universally pervaded medium. There is no ether. Okay, it is not having, there is no ether. And light travels also in the vacuum. Light travels in with the velocity 3 meters per second in the vacuum. It need not to, it doesn't need any medium. It can also travel in the vacuum. With all these things and with the concept made by the Einstein in the year 1905, these two together developed the entire region of the theory of relativity, which plays a vital role, which plays a great role in particle physics, because a new type of mechanics was developed, that is what is known as the relativistic mechanics. Relativistic mechanics, a new type of mechanics was generated. That's why this experiment is having such a great importance. Okay, that's why I am pressing on this particular point. On this particular point. Okay, right, on this particular point. Aim of the experiment, of course, experimental setup. This is nothing but an interferometer. Okay, Michelson-Morley interferometer. What is aim? Searching for absolute frame of reference. Whether is there. It is having. It was said that it is having so many uncommon, peculiar, extraordinary properties. Okay, the arise of the ether wind, the velocity of the rotation of the earth in the weather wind. Okay, this is interferometer, and of course for the convenience of students, so I will discuss the same thing with our student notes. Right. Again, in the 19th century, scientists believed that a medium is necessary for the propagation of light. They considered that ether is a universally pervaded medium in which light travels. They said that ether is a universal medium, absolute medium. It is having so many unseen, uncommon, peculiar and extraordinary properties, as I said previously. Okay, in order to find that one, they established one interferometer which is known as the Michelson interferometer. This is the Michelson interferometer, in which S is the source of light, monochromatic source of light. Okay, right. This is the other experimental setup. A beam of light from the incident, a beam of light will incident on a partially coated mirror. This is a partially coated mirror which is placed at an angle 45 degrees. Which is placed at an angle 45 degrees to the direction of propagation of the light from the source. Okay, that's why it is kept here with an angle 45 degrees. Then what will happen? As it is a partially coated mirror, certain part will be reflected perpendicularly, certain part will be transmitted. Okay, transmitted part, that is refracted part. Transmitted part is known as the refracted part will travel horizontally and falls on a vertical mirror M1, and reflected part will travel the same distance, where another mirror was placed M2, and there it was reflected. Okay, refracted part reflected by M1 mirror, reflected part again reflected by M2 mirror in this direction. These two mirrors are perpendicular. These two mirrors are placed at the same distance. Therefore, these two mirrors will reflect the waves, and these two waves will again combine here and they travel in this direction, and here, okay, these two rays can produce interference, provided there is path difference and phase difference. Certainly there will be a path difference and phase difference. Therefore, interference pattern will be appear. Interference pattern means bright to fringe, dark fringe, bright fringe, dark fringe. Such a fringe pattern will appear. Okay, this fringe pattern will be observed by means of a powerful telescope. Okay, the spectrometer arrangement is here. Alright, this is about the basic arrangement. Alright, the total apparatus is on the Earth. Earth is rotating around the Sun with a velocity v in this direction. Earth is also moving in this direction. Let Earth is moving in this direction. Therefore, the apparatus is also moving in this direction. With what velocity? With velocity v. Okay. What is the velocity of light? Velocity of light is c. Velocity of light is c. 304 meters per second in this direction. Okay. For this mirror, this is its traveling directions. For this mirror, this is in traveling directions with velocity c, forward c, backward c, forward c, backward c. But the whole apparatus moves in this direction with velocity v, as it is the velocity of the rotation of the Earth around the Sun. Okay. Here, refracted part falls on M1 and reflects back. Reflected part falls on M2 and reflected back. These two will combine here. They will travel different distances. Therefore, path difference will arise, phase difference will arise, interference pattern will appear. But these two mirrors are placed at equal distances. One is in the direction of the light, the other one is the direction of motion of the Earth. The other one is in a direction perpendicular to the motion of the Earth, or the motion of this whole apparatus. Right. But one thing is very, very, very important. That is, when light falls on this place, this mirror splits up into two parts: transmitted part or refracted part and the reflected part. Okay. When the refracted part goes to M1, M1 may not be here because the whole apparatus is moving with velocity. Therefore, M1 position from this to, okay, actually M1 position is here, it will changes here. When this ray, okay, when this ray try to meet this mirror M1, now the position of the mirror M1 is not here, it is elsewhere here, because the whole apparatus now changed here, the light ray also changed here. Similarly, okay, when this part of reflected light goes to B, the B doesn't here, that is the M2 doesn't here, M2 will change somewhere here. That's why what the actual path of this reflected light not it doesn't travels in a perpendicular path, it travels in this direction, because while it is traveling, the mirror is also traveling, therefore it finds the mirror elsewhere here, and from that place, okay, again it will, okay, still the apparatus is moving, therefore again it will, okay, travels in this direction and elsewhere meet here, and your telescope will be kept here. Therefore, okay, while the light rays are traveling towards their respective mirrors M1 and M2, M1 and M2 doesn't fixed there, they are also moving, the apparatus is also moving with a velocity equal to the velocity of the light. Therefore, M1 place will go to M1 prime, M2 place will go to the M2 prime, and towards M2 the light travels in this direction. Okay, for M1 mirror, okay, light travels in the forward direction, backward direction with some relative velocity. Therefore, there is relative velocity. Light is traveling, but mirror is also traveling. in the same direction. Mirror is traveling with the velocity v, light is traveling with the velocity c. Okay, that's why there is a relative velocity, not the single light velocity. That is discussed in this one. Okay, in case of refracted light, that is the horizontal light, relative velocity of light while moving from m to m1, and from m to m1, relative velocity is c minus v. While it is coming back, relative velocity of light while moving back from, that is from m1 to m, and in the return journey it is c plus v, because the directions are opposite. Therefore, relative velocity is c minus v and c plus v. Therefore, as far as the horizontal part of the light is concerned, that is the refracted part of the light is concerned, if t1 is the time taken to travel the beam from m mirror to m1 mirror and back to m, the total time t1 is equal to, distance is equal to t. In forward journey, relative velocity is equal to c minus v. In backward journey, it is c plus v. Therefore, LCM is equal to c square v square o, c square minus v square o. After getting LCM, you will get to the numerator becomes 2dc by c square minus v square. This 2dc by c square minus v square will be, I will change it as 2dc by, I will take c square common, therefore you will get 1 minus v square by c square. This c will cancel c times, therefore 2d by c. Okay, what is there in the denominator? 1 minus v square whole to the power of half. Okay. On binomial expansion and taking the first two terms only, on binomial expansion of this one and taking first two terms only, then you will get 2dg by c is constant. In the binomial expansion, first two term is 1, second term is minus 1 into minus plus so v square by c is the second term, and you will get so many other times. We are limited to the first and the second terms only. Therefore, this is the t1 value. Okay, right. In the reflected part, the light ray travels diagonally in this way, and it comes back diagonally. Again, it comes back diagonally. Not here also, it comes back diagonally. Okay. Therefore, the relative velocity is equal to root of c square minus v square. Root of c square minus v square. Because the diagonal, okay, diagonal is c. Okay, one side is v, the other side is v. Vertical side is, diagonal side is v, other side is v. Therefore, if you want the vertical side, because along the vertical side the distance is d. Therefore, along the vertical side as the distance is d, now the vertical side becomes root of c square by v square. Therefore, okay, in case of reflected part of light, while the light ray travels from m to m2 position and back to m, the total distance is d. If you take the vertical direction, in the vertical direction the relative velocity is c square minus v square. Therefore, the upward direction, the backward direction, same distance 2d by root of v square minus c square. Therefore, 2d. Here also c square is okay taken out common. When c square taken out common, after comes out from the root, it will become c. Now in the root, the thing will be 1 minus v square by c square. Here also 1 minus v square by c square whole to the power of minus, so half. Here also after binomial expansion and after considering the first two terms only, t2 is equal to 2d by c into 1 plus v square by half is there. Therefore, v square by 2c square. Therefore, this is the time taken for the second light ray. Okay, the vertical light ray. This is the time taken for horizontal light ray. Actually, this is the time taken for, okay, refracted light ray. This is the time taken for reflected light ray. Okay, in order to move front and back and again meet at the same position. Okay, there is, therefore, what is the time difference? So, time difference is equal to t1 minus t2, 2d by c into 1 minus v square by c square minus 2d by c into 1 plus v square by c square. Here 2d by c is common. Okay, 1 will cancel. Only the thing is v square minus c square minus v square minus 2c square. Therefore, v square minus, you will get v square minus 2c square. Therefore, time difference is equal to dv square by c cube. dv square by c cube is the time difference. Because of the time difference, there is path difference. Therefore, path difference of the beam is, okay, velocity into time. Velocity is c. What is the time difference? dv square by c cube. Therefore, okay, dv square by this is c square c, therefore c square, therefore dv square by c square is the path difference. If lambda is the wavelength of the light, then path difference in terms of the wavelength. We want the path difference in terms of the wavelength. That is the path difference in terms of the wavelength, delta lambda is equal to, okay, in terms of the wavelength means we have to multiply with 1 by lambda into time difference. Therefore, okay, dv square by lambda c square is the wavelength difference. It is the wavelength difference or path difference in terms of the wavelength. Okay, right. This is first part of the experiment. In the second part of this experiment, the apparatus is turned to 90 degrees so that the M1 position and M2 positions are interchanged. Okay, now the positions of the M1 and M2 are interchanged. Then the net path difference is again same but minus, because their positions are changed. Okay, again the path difference is dv square by c lambda c square. Therefore, the total path difference for the first and the second positions, okay, total path difference means in the first position you will get fringes, in the second position you will also get fringes, but the fringe, there must be a fringe shift, the position of the interference pattern should be changed because of the total wavelength difference. The total path difference delta V is equal to delta lambda minus delta lambda. Therefore, okay, the total path difference or the position difference, we will term it as the fringe shift, means change of the positions of the fringes in the first case and the second case. Therefore, that is equal to delta Y is equal to 2 dv square by lambda c square. Okay, here in the Michelson-Morley experiment, they selected a light ray, monochromatic light ray of wavelength 5.9 10 to the power of minus 5 centimeter. Distance between the mirrors from the original mirror is 11 meters. Velocity V is equal to, what is the velocity of rotation of that? 3 10 to the power of 4 meters per second. What is the C value? 3 10 to the power of 8 meters per second. They are also converted into centimeters, and after substitution, it was found that experimentally the fringe shift is 0.38 units. What it means, in the first part of the experiment, when the M1 and M2 are at their original positions, you will get a fringe on the screen. When their positions are changed, you will get the same fringes, same pattern, but with a displacement with a shift of how many units? 0.37. It means that the fringe pattern should be shifted from their original position because of this total path difference for the initial and final first and second part of the experiment, in which in the second part the mirrors are rotated by 90 degrees. But this Michelson-Morley interferometer can able to detect a fringe shift of how much? 0.01. But what is the fringe shift? 0.37. 0.37 is the expected fringe shift from the parameters used there. But this particular interferometer can easily detect even 0.01 fringe shift also. But scientists recorded that is Michelson and Morley recorded that there is no fringe shift. It means that in the initial case, in the initial time, wherever the fringes are formed at the same position, okay, second time also the fringes are formed at the same position. There is no shift. There is no shift. But they expect the 0.37 fringe shift. Okay, and Michelson-Morley and also Michelson-Morley surprised about this result, and they conducted this particular experiment in many days, in different seasons, in different times, day, night, morning, midnight, likewise, different seasons, different places also. But in all places, in all seasons, in all times, they found that there is no fringe shift. And they feared that this is a negative result. This is a negative result. they announced that they failed to determine the fringe shift. They got negative results. They said, okay, there is no fringe shift. But so many scientists also conducted the same experiment. They also found that there is no fringe shift. They also found that there is no fringe shift. Okay. If ether is there while earth rotates, ether will drag the object. Ether winds will drag the objects. Therefore, certainly there must be a fringe shift. But there is no fringe shift means there is no ether drag. There is no ether drag means there is no ether. Okay. Because of the so many other scientists and ultimately two scientists, Lorentz and Fitzgerald, experimentally proved that there is no ether. That's why there is no, okay, there is no question of ether shift, ether drag. It means that there is no question of shift of the fringes will arise, and whatever the results that are observed or obtained by the Michelson-Morley experiment are said to be correct. You are correct. Your results are correct. Okay, but the concepts for doing your experiments, what are your concepts? Your concepts are nothing but not your own concept. That is the concepts believed by the scientists. What is the belief of the scientists for by that time? There is an absolute frame in the universe that is universally pervaded with ether. Okay, that ether is there. In that ether, all the objects are moving. Therefore, in that ether, while the earth is also rotating around the sun, it will experience some ether drag. Because of the ether drag, there must be some fringe shift. Okay, that is the expected one. Okay, they said that you need not expect that one. There is no, all the experimental results say that there is no fringe shift. It means that there is no ether drag. There is no ether drag means that there is no ether. Okay, there is no ether means so there is no an absolute frame of reference in the universe. No question of ether. And what about light? Yes. Okay, by that time it was okay said that it was proposed that light travels in the vacuum with a velocity 8 meters per second. It needs no media for the propagation. That's why initially the result obtained by the Michelson-Morley experiment is negative result, but by the experiments of other scientists and the ultimate experiments conducted by the Lorentz and Fitzgerald, the experimental results obtained by the Michelson-Morley are correct. It means that there is no ether drag. It means that there is no ether. It means that there is no the existence of an absolute frame of reference in the universe. There is no existence of ether. That is the importance, and that is the concepts developed by the Michelson-Morley in order to develop further the theory of relativity by the proposal of okay, light doesn't needs any media for the propagation. It also travels in the vacuum. It also travels in the vacuum. It travels in the vacuum with a velocity 8 meters per second. And so many other things are also said in addition to this one also. Okay, we will discuss all those things in the special theory of relativity proposed by the Einstein. Okay. This is all about the great experiment, Michelson-Morley experiment. I said that this is the other pillar. One pillar is special theory of relativity of the Einstein. The other pillar is the Michelson-Morley experiment in order to develop or in order to construct the great region that is what is known as the theory of relativity.